All right, so what? A week ago, a little over a week ago, famous actor Elliot Page came out as transgender. Now, I want to say, first of all, that's awesome. That's amazing. Huge positive representation. Absolutely love it. More trans men in popular media is a wonderful and great thing. I want to see more of it. I love it when it happens. I won't say perfect, but it's good because I feel like a lot of the conversations, especially in those more elite circumstances, are all focused on trans women. And I wanted to cover this, but I was trying to figure out a way that I could cover it because a lot of the positive stuff's been done, and I absolutely, went out on Twitter and Facebook and all that kind of stuff, did positive things. But I noticed there was a lot of negative reactions to it from a lot of people. You have your standard people like your turf Ariel Scarcella. You have your dumb Twitter wokelets who are going out and saying, well, now he's, heterosexual, and it's just him leaving his lesbian sister and like taking really shitty takes like that, like welcome to privilege and shit like that. I have fucking Buck Angel going out. Okay, hold on. I'm pulling up the Buck Angel tweet because the Buck Angel tweet is fucking incredible. Oh my fucking god. All right. I share this on Twitter, but holy shit! All right, we're gonna talk about this really quick. Ariel Scarcella. So serious questions. People who went after ScarJo for playing a trans man as a biological woman. And what she means here is cis woman. Why do the same for? Excuse me. Why do the same people feel it's okay for Elliot Page, a trans person, knows how she doesn't say trans man, to play a woman on this Netflix show that he's on? And Buck Angel, our favorite grifty transphobe, is it's not okay, and we need to amplify this. It doesn't work both ways. Like I said before, those people to those people who so concerned, shut up! You will totally fuck up the future of us getting any acting parts. And here it comes, ha ha ha! Literally him fucking laughing at the fact that he's like, oh well, no, it doesn't go both ways. It's not the same. Like it's not. Oh my god, like. I could make an entire video on this, but I'm not going to. Instead, our favorite smart pants conservative fast talker, Benny Bitch Boy Shapiro out here, decides in his video to dead name Elliot. And let's fucking talk about this. Yeah, let's watch this together. Now, I want to preface this, but I haven't seen this video. I haven't seen any videos covering it. Nothing. Of course, the idea being that nothing he's going to say is smart enough for me to not be able to debunk on the fly. So let's go ahead and get to debunking. All right, what do you got, Ben? Hit me up. Get this out of here.
Okay, now, I would be remiss today if I did not discuss one of the great issues of our time. And that is that the actress Ellen Page.
Oof! Not even 10 seconds in. And we're starting the fuck up. All right, let's go.
Was, and shall remain a woman, is now a man.
Despite the fact that all society disagrees with you, boy.
So let me read you the headline from CNN, which conveys zero information. And we have now been forced as a society to simply say nonsense. To simply just say things that are nonsense, that don't...
Well, no, it's not nonsense. And that's the thing that I think that Ben doesn't understand, that I really want to get out here and I really want to throw out, that we understand as a society, we have sociologists, we have medical professionals, we have psychologists, we have any number of research document to come through and say that gender, for all intents and purposes, is largely a social construct. There are arguments to be had that, outside of that claim, and that because of the way that we perceive gender and we perceive gender norms, transgender people are valid. Especially when you consider that a lot of gender is presentation, a lot of gender is identification. There's not like some sort of like gendered. There's not like some sort of thing that like biologically determines that men wear fucking suits and women wear dresses. That's societal, and that's what we're talking about when gender is a social construct. Plus, the idea of being trans and, going by and using trans pronouns has been around for fucking longer than America has been. So, nice try, Ben, but you're wrong.
Don't make any sort of logical sense, that don't actually translate from English to reason. Okay, so here is...
Also, any sort of translation to what the fuck? Translation from English to reason? What the fuck?
The headline, and you tell me if you know what the hell this means. Okay, ready? Elliot Page, Juno star, shares transgender identity.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. I was basically saying, hey, Elliot Page is coming out as transgender. And I don't understand, like, Ben Shapiro, like, he comes out and says this whole, like, I'm a big smart boy, and I just happen to talk so fast that whenever I talk to anyone, they just can't keep up with me. So that's why I look so intellectual. And I also won't debate anyone who actually knows what they're talking about. I only talk to college students who are barely educated on the subject and don't have any professional media experience.
Do you have any idea what that means?
Yeah, fuck
like,
you.
Seriously, do you have any idea what that means?
Yep.
When I first saw the headline Elliot Page, I thought, whoa, Ellen has a brother? No, it turns out that Ellen Page...
Of course that's where you would go. Holy shit. Like, so this is how far gone fucking conservatives are with trans identity, is they will literally fucking head in the sand until, the fucking cows come. Like, you could dig them out and you would fucking get to the core before you would find their head. They literally want to deny this at such a fundamental fucking level. Jesus fucking Christ.
Is now identifying as Elliot Page. And the media, instead of saying, here's a headline with content, Ellen Page announces she identifies as man, wishes to be called Elliot Page.
Yes, you could say that, but that doesn't give any more content. That's literally just saying, well, you see here, I wish that all media articles would just dead name and misgender all of their trans people that whenever they come out, so that way I can instantly tell and instantly know how I should be transphobic to them.
Right, now I would have the whole story. But Elliot Page, Juno's...
Wait! Whoa! Are you just fucking saying you want to not read and you just want to see the headline and be like, all right, that's all I got. We're done. I don't have to do anything else. Like, what? I thought you were the Mr. Facts Matter boy, aren't you? The facts don't care about your feelings. Well, guess what, Ben? Here's some facts for you. The fact is, society respects Elliot Page as a man, and therefore he's a man. Don't care about your feelings. That's how it works.
Star conveys nothing because Ellen Page was the star of Juno. So I'm like, wait, was her brother in that movie? Like, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. Because the media have created this bizarre standard whereby if a person declares themselves a member of the opposite gender, the entire world, especially in the media, must immediately flip on a dime, stop calling them by the name everybody knew them as, and stop calling them by their biological sex. You end up with complete nonsense. Just complete bleh.
Well, so a couple of things here. We don't actually refer to people as their biological sex. And, like, if we did, like, okay, we may assign people into categories because, as we all know, biology and sex largely is a bimodal distribution. Bimodal being it's not a binary because there are outliers in that binary, but we largely just react to say, here's what we see when the child's born. Just it's like a quick yeah, okay, this looks right. That's how it's done. Obviously, it's not entirely the best way to do it because there are certain hidden things that can happen. There are certain hidden things. For example, you may have a penis, but you may be XX, or you may have a vagina, but you're XY. There is no hard and fast rule to any of it, especially when you're getting into, the fact that there are intersex people that exist. This doesn't, this seems to be something that Ben, I guarantee you, I could tell Ben Shapiro that, oh, hey, intersex people exist, and he would just go, boom, blow his fucking mind out, because he wouldn't understand that concept. We don't refer to anyone as their biological sex. I don't go up to some person on the street and be like, all right, inject them with a fucking syringe and be like, okay, well, this is what their biological sex reads this. I don't do that. I don't wear a sign on me that says my biological sex reads this. Here's my complete hormonal makeup. No, we don't do that. We typically refer to people how they wish to be referred to. It's just like with names. When Ben Shapiro, who was probably born Benjamin, comes out and says, I want to be called Ben, we say, okay, hi, Ben, you're a piece of shit. Now, if Ben Shapiro tomorrow were to come out and say, I wish to now be referred to as Benji, we'd all look to him and say, hi, Benji, you're still a piece of shit. Like, that's how we do it. We do it off of what people wish to be referred to. That's what identity is. That's what it boils down to. Now, of course, once you start getting down into gender identity, it gets more complicated because there's almost an infinitesimal way to describe gender identity. You can get down into things such as, are you someone who's binary? Are you someone who's non-binary? Because there's different spectrums you can line on. Like, it's not like here's a spectrum. It's a series of spectrums. It can be, I am like this far into manhood, this far into femininity, this far into, whatever another gender identity or another sort of identification may be. That's really just kind of how it boils down to. It's a really complicated subject, and I know I feel bad that I have to watch Ben Shapiro for Twitch myself, but like that's how it works. There's no sort of like instant like flip on the brain. Oh my God, I have this understanding that I was so suddenly missing. Like, no, and again, like I said, anything he's trying to say, and this is something that has all been conferred upon by doctors, by like medical people in the medical profession, sociology, psychologists, anthropologists have all agreed on this. People who have spent like collective thousands of hours in school studying, researching, and this isn't something that's just small. This is the plethora of medical and societal sciences all agree upon this. So you may not like this. Well, no, he does. Okay, he may have a brain. He just doesn't like to use it.
Coming out of the mouths of the media. Now listen, Ellen Page can identify however...
And this isn't something that the media is forcing upon us. We have data going back hundreds of years to show that, well, yes, actually transgender people have existed on Earth throughout history, and this disregard for transgender people is a relatively new phenomenon in the grand scheme of things. And when I say relatively new, I actually do mean the last 20 years or so.
Whatever she wants, I don't care. Really, it makes no difference to me. She is an adult human. She can do whatever she wants. It is a free country.
Oh, and that's the other thing that a lot of these dumb shit conservative grifter types like to make. They say, well, adults can do whatever they want, but I don't have to respect it. And it's like, okay, so there's a lot of things, especially because Ben Shapiro is like the facts and feelings boy out here. Like, the fact is that he's doing this off of the way he feels, because like I said, science disagrees with him. And if Elliot Page were to go out into society would see him, if he's presenting masculine, saying he's on hormones, the plethora of data would say, oh, society agrees that Elliot Page is a man. That's how this works.
However, it being a free country, I am also free to point out that Ellen...
there absolutely is more than two genders. That's just objective fact.
Page was, and shall remain a woman. Because Ellen Page is, in fact, a woman. Now, I'm happy to call Ellen Page Elliot if she wants to be called Elliot, because people change their names all the time, and you can, in fact, change your name by declaration.
Yes, you can, and you actually don't need to change it. It's like I said earlier, if Ben tomorrow were to come out and be like, I'm Benji, would you say, okay, do you have to go through the legal process of saying I'm changing my name on my identification card to be called Benji? If you want to come on and defend that fucking ridiculous point, ! Discord, let's fucking go.
You cannot, however, change your sex by declaration. Or your gender by declaration. That is not how this works. There is no other area of life in which people simply declare themselves to be a thing, and everybody goes, oh, okay.
No, yeah, that's absolutely is how that works. You can declare yourself to go out and be like, I'm a carpenter. I learned carpentry. Okay, I cannot call myself a carpenter. And, well, no, what you're saying is you're an idiot because you disagree with the fact that you can have multiple, the fact that you disagree with the fact that there's more than two genders. So you're just an idiot that disagrees with science all around. And but this is absolutely true. If you go and you learn how to work wood, you can call yourself a carpenter. If you go and you learn how to lay stone, you can call yourself a stonemason. That's how that works. It's not just you'd go out and you say, I'm a carpenter, I learned how to work with wood, now I'm a carpenter. Just like with gender, you can go through and be like, you can understand things about yourself, you can learn things about yourself you might not have known before, and now all of a sudden, I think I identify as a gender separate from the one I was born. Okay, cool. That's all it takes.
right? An objectively verifiable thing, right? There, you can declare your sexual orientation, right? You can declare a thing that you like. You can declare that you're a fan of this particular band. You can declare that you have a sexual attraction to X, Y, or Z, right? That's all subjective. And all we have to go on...
Wait. Is Ben Shapiro saying gay rights? Is he actually going through and saying, yes, gay people do exist, and that's fine? Like, god damn.
...is your behavior, which is objective, and your subjective self-assessment. However, when you're declaring something as core as your sex, there's no objectifiable...
No one's declaring their sex. Holy fucking shit. Oh my god. You're declaring your sex, not your gender. Fucking Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my god. Babe, you need to listen to this. This is fucking stupid.
Is that a Ben Shapiro video?
Did you hear this at all?
I think so.
Or your gender by declaration. That is not how this works. There is no other area of life in which people simply declare themselves to be a thing, and everybody goes, oh, okay. Right? An objectively verifiable thing, right? There, you can declare your sexual orientation, right? You can declare a thing that you like. You can declare that you're a fan of this particular band. You can declare that you have a sexual attraction to X, Y, or Z, right? That's all subjective. And all we have to go on is your behavior, which is objective, and your subjective self-assessment. However, when you're declaring something as core as your sex, there's no objective measure whatsoever whereby Ellen Page is a man. None.
Okay, well, Ben Shapiro is just known to be a fucking moron.
Oh yeah, but I just think it's funny I am declaring my sex. Like, what is that, like a fucking in like an intake? Like, no, I'm not mad. I'm honestly, this is fucking insane that Ben Shapiro can be this dumb. And you can be quote unquote, like, the thing is there's a difference between being cordial and being friendly. What you're doing is you're denying the existence of millions of people around the world, which at that point in time, you are no longer being friendly. You are being cordial.
Right? She is a woman. And yet we are immediately told by the media that to even address Ellen Page or Elliot Page as a she is discriminatory. It's very bad and very...
Yep, fucking die mad about it, Ben. Die the fuck mad.
Discriminatory. And so you end up with complete inanities and insanities. Okay, so Ellen Page declared that she is now a man. Okay?
Yep, and that's how that works. That's literally how that works. Because guess what? Elliot Page probably went through a ton of self-discovery before all of this. This probably wasn't something where it was like Elliot Page was like, I'm going to sit here and, just go off on Twitter one day and say this is the case. No, he probably went through a lot of self-discovery, a lot of thought, a lot of introspection, and arrived here after a course of months, if not years. It's not even like a small thing like that. It's objectively, that's like what happens.
But she also declared that she is a queer man. Now, this is confusing, because if she were a queer man, this would mean that she is attracted to men, which would technically mean that she's a straight woman, right? Because if she is an actual woman,
But she's not a woman. Like, she's not a woman. Just because, he's not a woman. Like, he is not a woman. Like, sorry, fucking damn, I'm getting this shit confused. He is not a woman. Just because his, like, biological sex may not be XY, or we don't even know what his chromosomes are. It doesn't even matter, because in society we don't look at someone's chromosomes when we're referring to someone. We don't like go through and be like, there's not someone that's standing outside of every bathroom that's just like, chromosome card please. No, can't come in here. Like, then that doesn't fucking happen. Like, I've never seen a bouncer for a fucking bathroom. Like, we generally do this based off of a number of factors, including someone's appearance, and in some places, the way that someone says that here's how I identify. It's that simple.
attracted to men, this would make her a straight woman. But we know she's not that because she was a lesbian, right? So she is married to a...
Wait. Hold on.
...mean that she's a straight woman, right? Because if she is an actual woman attracted to men, this would make her a straight woman. But we know she's not that because she was a lesbian, right? So she is...
Does Ben Shapiro think that the term queer only applies to people who are attracted to the same sex? Like, does Ben Shapiro actually believe that queer specifically applies if you're only... Because here's the thing. Queer is an umbrella term. Most people, and this is just true, most people use the term queer to identify to the whole LGBT community. Just how it works, buddy. Like, and even if you say LGBTQ, whatever, the Q stands for questioning. It doesn't stand for queer. Like, this is just how this all boils down. There's not some sort of like magic disseminated way that this information gets passed along. Like, it's not like someone looks at this and be like, oh, I'm the queer police. No, you're not queer. We don't know, because gender's a really complicated thing, and there are tons and tons and tons of different genders. Maybe Elliot Page is not just attracted to traditionally feminine women. Maybe Elliot Page is saying that he's queer because there's people who are not on the feminine side of gender, or maybe they're non-binary, or maybe they're trans. Well, not trans feminine, but like demi girl or something that he's attracted to as well. That doesn't mean that he's like. This doesn't mean that he's like not queer. This just means that, number one, he's using the word queer as an umbrella term, and number two, that this is literally how he... what the fuck are you even getting at, Ben? This is so weird, so weaselly.
Married to a woman, as far as I'm aware, and that means that she is a lesbian, but now she is a man, and according to her, this means that she is a white, straight male. So how's she queer? She's a white, straight male.
Wait, what? He's not... But he's not straight. He openly identifies as queer. Like, do you think that you can be like? Do you think that people who are like, okay, like, do you think people who are like bisexual who get married to someone of the opposite sex and are in a heterosexual relationship are all of a sudden no longer welcome? Like, do you think that someone's gonna be like? Do you think they're gonna go to Pride and someone's gonna be like, hey, you can't be here. You're a normie. Like, what the fuck? Do you think that just because someone's in a heterosexual relationship that means that, oh, all of a sudden they're not allowed? Like, that the LGBT community is going to be like, look, you're no longer one of us. You need to leave. Like, no, that's not how that fucking works. I mean, I'm sure there are some people who would do that, but by and large, that's not how this works. That's not how the community responds.
So here is how Wikipedia tries to sum this up. You ready for this?
All right.
According to Wikipedia,
Fucking, he's like staring at this like, I don't understand what's happening. What's going on with this? I don't get it. It says according to this, you can be in a heterosexual relationship and still be queer. I don't get it. What does that mean? This doesn't make any sense. Jesus Christ. I thought I was smart.
January 2018, Page publicly announced his marriage to dancer and choreographer Emma Portner. So this means that Ellen Page is a gay man married to a woman, according to Wikipedia.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean... Jesus fucking Christ. He's so dishonest. Because he knows all of this. He knows all of this shit. There's no way he doesn't know, because I guarantee you he's either heard it like from watching YouTube, because there's no way Ben sits at home and is like, well, there's no way Ben's the kind of person who has to know that. He has to go through and educate himself and all this kind of stuff. And there's no way he's going to go out and be like, well, I'm not going to look at this because I know everything already and I'm not going to learn about it anymore, blah, 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 blah. There's no way Ben's going to do that. That's just not the kind of person that Ben is. We've seen his shitty, grifty self a lot, but we've also kind of seen a few, that that's not something he's going to do, where he's just going to be like, I'm going to intentionally leave myself uninformed here. Like that. No, he has to know what he's saying is a lie. Like that's why I say he's a grifter. But I mean, guess technically almost all conservatives are, because they all know that they're lying, and God damn it.
No sense at all. Like, in any way, shape, or form. And you're expected to simply mirror this. Not only that, the left has particular standards with regard to who gets to play parts in movies. So, for example, Ellen...
What? No. Oh my God. He's going to bring up the ScarJo argument. He's going to bring up the fucking ScarJo argument. And the fucking reason why people got upset about ScarJo is because there are trans masculine actors who could have taken that role that she was just like, I don't know how to describe Jill's voice. I'm gonna take this role because I'm famous and I can. And there was a whole lot of shit there that was just like, it was proven that there was no trans masculine actors that were even offered the opportunity, and it was all fucking, it was a whole fucking nightmare scenario. Holy shit. Holy shit. Like, and even then, like, or is he gonna do this role of, well, Elliot Page is playing a female coded character in the Umbrella Academy, so the left, the radical crazy left, says we have to recast that role to be someone of that flavor of, like, that's not the case. No one's gonna say that, particularly because we don't know what's the happens gonna with the writing, and if he's, and here's the hot tip. Shit, sorry. If he's okay, he can play the role. But we don't want to see minority roles going to non-minorities. And I'm sure that Ben, if you were in the same situation where, because I think Ben's Jewish, if he were to be in the same situation and see, oh, hey, here's a typically Jewish role going to a non-Jewish actor. Now, Ben probably is the kind of person who wouldn't care, but how would that feel to all the little, Jewish children where they're seeing people who are Jewish only go into the stereotypical Jewish roles? He'd probably fucking wouldn't like that. Isn't that right? Oh, actually, Ben probably wouldn't, but that's what this is about. It's not about, oh, well, you can't play this role for acting ability. It's about the fact that it means a lot more to these communities because we don't get to see ourselves in media outside of stereotyped roles if we can see ourselves in media outside of stereotyped roles. That's just how it works.
Page, now Elliot Page. Right? I'm saying Ellen Page not because I wish to offend Elliot Page.
Holy shit. I don't want to fucking watch ads. God damn it. YouTube started doing this bullshit.
But because until 5
No, you're saying this because you want to offend Elliot Page. That's why you're doing it.
seconds ago, nobody had ever heard of Elliot Page. So nobody...
What? 5 seconds? Literally? I know, he's being hyperbolic. I'm not gonna...
knows who the hell I'm talking about. So I'm going to use the name that people know her as. And then, over time, if you want to call it Elliot Page, that's fine. But for, like, today.
Wait, what? Whoa. Fucking, when did this come out? December 2nd, 2020. When? Hold on. Give me the fucking Twitter post.
Diana,
Whatever.
your time will come.
Get out of here. December 1st. This came out December 1st. Fucking everyone knew about this at this point in time. Everyone knew about this. This was all over social media. Unless you literally live in a fucking, like, hole in the ground, everyone knew about this shit, man. Jesus Christ. So
I feel like it's fair to mention that Ellen Page and Elliot Page are the same person. So that if somebody tunes in and hears Elliot Page...
Yes, you can mention that they are the same person. And there are ways to do that. It's not being transphobic. But, Ben, you are being transphobic as fuck right now. Though I don't know what I expected, to be honest.
They don't think Ellen has a brother. Okay? So, here's the headline from TV Insider. Elliot Page reportedly to continue in same role on Umbrella Academy. Now...
Yeah, based as fuck. Umbrella Academy's great. Elliot does a great job. Cool. Fucking sweet.
Umbrella Academy on Netflix. It started off, the series itself...
Oh, yeah, and Netflix went through and retroactively changed all of his credits. Fucking die mad about it, Benny boy.
Is based on a comic book. In the comic book, Ellen Page, who, again, is a woman, and is in the series a cisgender woman, right? Like a woman who is a woman, is a...
Like a woman who is a woman. You mean someone who is assigned female at birth?
Is a straight woman in the first season. In the second season, Ellen Page...
There's no indication that Vanya was ever heterosexual. There's no... Just because Vanya was in a heterosexual relationship doesn't automatically make Vanya heterosexual. Does Ben not know what bisexual means? Like, does he really not know what bi and pansexual are? What the fuck?
becomes a lesbian because Ellen Page is a lesbian in real life, I guess. I mean, I assume that's...
Wait, wasn't Vanya bisexual? Wasn't Vanya,
She had a same-sex relationship in the show.
Oh, no. I'm talking about from, the comics.
Doesn't matter. They've taken tons of religious privilege.
Oh, yeah, no. They've taken tons of privilege in some of the comics, but I thought even in the comics it was never really clarified whether Vanya was, like, queer or not. Nope, can't find anything on it. That's okay.
That's what the plan was there, and that it has something to do with how Ellen Page wanted to act, because...
Wait, if you want to make this whole thing about what the fuck is going on with the comics versus the Netflix show, fine, we can have that conversation, but I guarantee you Ben hasn't read the comics, nor does he understand the comics. He's just getting upset because of, oh my god, LGBT people exist. That's literally why he's mad.
My understanding is that's not something directly from the comic book series. If it is, forgive me, that's fine. Who cares? Okay, but here's the part that's hilarious. So, according to Variety...
Wait, does he think that comic book adaptations have to be 100% accurate with the original source material? Holy shit. All right, Ben, how would you like, going to theaters like fucking 12 years ago, seeing Watchmen and the giant squid attack and being like... Why does this blue guy have his dick out on the moon? Oh, like, what the fuck? It's called interpretation, and it happens all the fucking time. Holy fuck.
They say there are no plans to change the character Ellen Page plays her gender on the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, and if Elliot Page is okay with that, fine. That's his choice. If Elliot Page wasn't okay with that, then they would probably either do something to take Vanya out of the show or find someone else to play Vanya. This, I guarantee you, this isn't something that was just done spur of the moment, but that Elliot had talked to them, and it was something that had come up in a conversation before, and they were like, we're going to talk about this, and we're going to work this out, so that way when people ask, we know what we're doing.
So the series is publicly...
Yeah, like, this is a non-issue. This is a fucking non-issue. Holy shit.
...showing their support, and... They say they are proud of their superhero. We love you, Elliot. But Elliot will be playing a woman. Now, I've been firmly informed.
Yeah, that's fine if he's okay doing that. That's not a problem.
That this is discrimination and cultural appropriation.
Well, no, but let's hear you out first.
When Scarlett Johansson, a straight woman...
Okay, yep, he did make the ScarJo argument. So, no, also we're going to back up just a fucking smidge here.
Scarlett Johansson...
So, no, this isn't appropriation. Because you can't really, like, a trans person can't really appropriate cis culture or something like that. And it has a lot to do with the majority group. Like, the majority group is obviously cis people in this case. And if the majority group is, somehow silencing or oppressing the minority group, which is fucking happening, look at Ben Shapiro and really just conservative media in general. Or there's the fact that a lot of shows, for example, Sons of Anarchy, I don't know but yeah, well, it's like Sons of Anarchy is a really good example of this, where they're casting non-trans people in trans roles, or they're not casting trans people in cis roles. That's the whole point here. With Scarlett Johansson, what they did, and I know he's going to go into this and make this huge fucking deal, they cast a cis character for a trans role. That's just basically saying, well, we're not going to give trans... Like, we don't know what the story was going to be about. Maybe it was about his transition, and even then, you can find trans people who are okay talking, like trans, actors who are okay doing that. There are people out there who are willing to do that. So when he says, oh, this is appropriation, well, no, he's just wrong here. He's just being transphobic.
Hansen, a straight woman, was slated to play a transgender man in a movie.
Wait, a straight? What?
This was considered very, very bad form. In fact, only trans people
Yeah, and because we just talked about that.
could play trans characters. So I have a question. If Elliot Page is in fact a man, the way that the media have declared that she is a man, then why is she allowed to play a cisgender woman? Is that not cultural appropriation?
Nope, not cultural appropriation. Again, well, first of all, like, what is cis culture? Is cis culture fucking going to Denny's? If so, ooh, feels bad. Feels real fucking bad. But no, like, if, like, you would be thinking of, I think, want to say gendered appropriation. But, yeah. And as I've even talked about before, cultural appropriation is kind of net neutral, but that's a conversation for another thing. It's kind of a neutral act, but that's a conversation for another time. The point here being, though, is what Ben's trying to do is Ben's trying to draw this this imagined hypocrisy out and say that, well, this is bad because people have said that this other thing was bad, and this is like that, but the opposite. But they're not the same at all.
If a normal, non-trans man decided
Whoa, what do you mean normal? What the fuck? Little insensitive there, Benny boy.
to play a woman today, everybody would suggest that this was a violation of long-standing norms. It was cultural appropriation.
Well, no, it would depend a lot on the context of that situation. Like, not someone wouldn't necessarily be upset if, you're talking about a sex actor, or like there is certainly places for six actors for trans roles, but that's a very, very difficult and very, very like niche category. Like, you're not talking, there's not a whole lot of stories you could tell that would be something that's okay. Like, I mean, maybe in a situation where someone was like incredibly early on and they're trying to, like, say a process or something, but even then it's a very, very specific story. And I think at that point in time, when that broke and said, hey, we're making a story about this, people would probably be a bit more okay with that, mostly because that's something that a lot of trans people might find either hard to talk about, or it would bring up some hard experiences for trans actors and actresses. In this case, that's not what's happening. Like, there are certainly some cases where cis people can play trans roles. It's very few and far between. And even then, like, I would actually say if we're stereotyping trans roles, like, there might be some sort of discussion to be had around there. I don't know exactly what that looks like. I'm not really an expert on Hollywood or any of that kind of stuff. And it also kind of depends on, what people are willing to do and comfortable to do. But, yeah.
But if a woman declares herself a man, then you have to make a choice. Either she is a man, in which case she can't play a woman anymore, or she is not a man.
No, the whole reason that he's doing this is because, number one, he was already cast in this role well before he came out, and they want to build consistency in the show. And number two, he's okay continuing on. If he wasn't okay continuing on, they would have written in something for him to not have to continue on in this role. That's what it would have. They would have adapted for this.
In which case she's not a man. But because our culture is unbelievably stupid, it is both. Right? That is the way that this works. So good news, Elliot Page can still play.
Ben, the only person here who's unbelievably stupid is... Hold on, let me check my notes. It's you.
Women, and also can play transgender men, presumably can also play men, which is really exciting. One further note on all of this. If you feel like this is crazy...
Men? Is that like double men? Like, it's two men in the same, like... What is a men? Is men like just two guys, like one person who's like, I have two men in me, like...
Crazy, and that this is being crammed down on you? That is because it is. That is because...
No one's cramping down on someone else. And we do this all the time for literally everyone. We say, here's how I would like to be referred. It's like, okay, so when someone gets married, like, we don't look at them and say, oh, what do you mean? Like, if someone gets married and changes their last name, say Ben Shapiro were to get married and his wife would have had the last name Stevenson, and I know Ben would never take his wife's last name. Let's be honest. He's too much of a traditionalist for that. But if he were to take his wife's last name, he would no longer be Ben Shapiro. He would be Ben Stevenson. And no one would say anything about that. That would just be a normal thing. Well, maybe not to Ben, but, like when women change their last names when they get married, or, whatever, or, even the honorifics change. Like, you go from Miss to Mrs., or, Mrs. to Ms. if you're divorced or widowed or whatever. Like, there's tons of stuff. Like, you say someone gets their PhD, no longer are they Mr. or Miss, they're now doctor. Like, this happens all the time. This isn't just a small little one-off, oh my god, people are going crazy thing.
Because this is not a fringe phenomenon anymore, right? This is something the Democratic Party...
Good. Let's normalize this. Yeah, let's normalize trans people. Fucking baller.
...fully embraces and pushes. Yesterday, Chuck Schumer, the Senate minority...
No, Cyberpunk is not transphobic.
...leader, he said that he is fully with Joe Biden on mandating from the federal government that transgender people be allowed to use the bathroom of their choice. Now, it seems...
Yeah, that basically... How are you going to know? Ben, how are you going to know if you're... Unless you're looking, if someone's in the stall next to you, and, like, and they're just peeing, having, doing whatever they do, and, like, how do you know what's in their pants? Do you look? Are you invading their privacy? Are you gonna, like, stand outside the bathroom, every bathroom out of the world, and be like, I need to see your genitals first? Like, are you gonna do that, Ben? Because I'm not gonna do that. I don't know anyone who wants to do that.
Seems to me that if my wife is uncomfortable with a male walking into a bathroom or a locker room where she is undressing at the gym, that is perfectly within her purview. That seems like not inappropriate at all to me.
Wait, why are you hyper fixating on someone in a locker room undressing and getting... What the fuck? Like, if they don't want to change in front of people, guess what? There's bathroom stalls. There's the showers that have the curtains that get pulled in front of them. I don't know about you, but I've never been in a gym, like, even before my transition, when, like, if I were to go to change in the shower or whatever, no one's going up and, like, ripping open showers or opening stall doors and being like, hey, like, if stuff in the men's locker room, like, hey, just making sure you got a dick there. Like, no one's doing that shit. That's a fucking non sequitur. Jesus Christ.
To me. But the federal government has now decided, under Democratic auspices, that men and women are exactly the same.
Good. Are you upset with that, Ben? Are you got something you got to get off your chest there?
That gender is completely fluid. None of this makes any internal...
Shit. Fucking... I gotta figure out a better way to mount this light.
sense, by the way. If men and women are completely the same, there's no reason for you to declare yourself a man. Man equals woman means woman equals woman.
Well, no, there's still a reason to do that. And even if we say, like, gender is a social construct, you still leave out the idea of identity and presentation and societal perception. There is still plenty of... What are you barking about? Do you got her? Thank you. Like, there are still plenty of, like, societal non-standard expectations of, like, there's still a identity factor to all of this. Like, there are still other people who would be like, I want my physical form to, I want my physical appearance to match that of how I feel it is. Like, even if we kind of, like, even if we take the whole abolish gender route, where we kind of don't really have gendered expectations and gendered norms or anything like that, you still would have people who would be like, well, I feel like I'm more feminine, and they try to make themselves appear more feminine. You still have that, whether they're assigned female at birth or assigned male at birth, that's still going to happen. Like, that's not what people talk about when we say gender social construct. We tend to say, well, our gendered roles and our gendered stereotypes, like, tend to be what we're talking about there. Like, we don't want to, like, draw parallels or differences. We want to remove those out of that context and say, who cares if, like, yeah, there are certain roles, very specific roles that we're gonna, like, coincide certain people with, but even then it's incredibly hyper specific, like, and when I say hyper specific, I mean it's like one out of maybe like 100 million for, like, a very, very specific thing. But yeah, this is the non-issue, Ben.
Right? I mean, this is just the basic transitive property. In any case, here is Chuck Schumer, fully greenlighting the Democratic agenda, which is fully in line with all of this silliness and anti-logic nonsense. And again, Ellen Page or Elliot Page is allowed to do whatever she wants to do today, but she does not get to dictate what the rest of us say about things as basic as biological sex and capital T truth.
Good thing this isn't talking about biological sex. It's talking about gender, which has nothing to do with biological sex.
Okay, but here's the Democratic Party pushing this stuff.
Joe Biden said that on his first day of office, he will give transgender students access to sports, bathrooms, and locker rooms in accordance with their gender identity in all federally funded schools. Do you think he has the
Based! Fucking based as fuck. Do it, Biden. Do it!
ability to do this, and do you agree with this decision?
I agree with the decision, and I know...
Yeah, that's all you just said. Yep, I agree. Perfect. That's it. We're good. We Gucci. Now, of course, I'm not gonna simp for Schumer. Schumer's a piece of shit. But, you know, yeah, fucking support trans people. End of story.
He'll check things out thoroughly legally.
Okay, I'm sure that this will all work out just fantastic.
Yeah, literally. Do you agree with this? Yeah. It's either, do you... Okay, so Ben, here's the question. Do you agree with this, or do you want to discriminate against people?
Really well, I'm sure. And don't feel bullied. Don't feel as though you are being forced to change long-standing and, for all of human history, held opinions about the non-malleability of sex. It is all because you're discriminatory in your mind. Don't worry about the fact...
What? Discriminatory in your mind? What?
that this is all illogical and makes no sense. The media...
Well, no, this, like I said, this isn't illogical. This makes perfect sense. Ben, the thing is you're the one here being illogical, even though you would never recognize it, because when you see something like this, you see the imagined hypocrisy of this. You don't see what actually is going on, which is people don't have to identify with how they were assigned at birth, and in fact, in large part, how you were assigned at birth has really nothing to do with how, like, just like with a lot of this stuff. There are, more feminine men. There are more masculine women. It happens. Like, do you go to, like, I'm serious. Does Ben go to, like, butch lesbians, or not even butch lesbians, like butch women, like women who dress very masc and appear very masc, and does he look at them and say, "You're not fulfilling my societal expectations of how a woman should look. I'm going to have to ask you to stop because I'm deeply offended right now." Like, do you fucking do that shit?
Told you that a thing is so, and therefore it is so. And therefore, and also, if you mention it, it's because you're obsessed with these issues. This is one of my favorites.
Well, no, the reason I'm watching Ben Shapiro is because he likes to posture himself as an intellectual, even though he's a fucking moron. And it's not just, leftists mocking him. Like, this video has, 1.7 million views? So, obviously more than people on the left.
That you say something as radical as men and women are exactly the same and a man can become a woman, and then I say no. And they're like, why are you even paying attention to this? Why are you even making an issue out of this?
Well, no, because what you say is you look at it from a level of sex, where people are looking at it from a level of gender and gender identity. Like, it's not like, again, we're not saying you can change your sex or, obviously taking hormones does affect your biology to an extent, but it's not going to go in through and change your chromosomal makeup. No one's making that argument. No one's making the argument that someone's going to go through and be like, well, gosh, I have to find a chromosome bomb to go through and rewrite my chromosomes. Like, no one's gonna fucking making that argument. Jesus Christ.
I'm not. You guys are. I'm sorry, but you purveyors of new truths that have nothing to do with science.
New truths? Ben, do I need to pull up the plethora of medical research that shows this? Because I can. I can very easily.
Logic? Reason? The answer is no.
And, of course, when Ben Shapiro says logic and reason, Ben Shapiro is saying his logic and his reason. He's not actually going off of medical and scientific consensus, because there is an overwhelming amount of medical and scientific consensus. And actually, if you don't believe me, let's take a look at some of it. Hold on. If you say something negatively, people on the right who watch Ben Shapiro and several dozen people on Twitch and people... Well, there's a lot of right-wing people who watch him. There's a lot of right-wing... There's a ton. But here's a early document from a YouTuber. Actually, let me see if I can't get to her more recent one. Called Riley Grace Rochon. She's also streams... She streams on YouTube. She's a law student. Fucking incredible. Actually, it's a really fucking good resource. I highly recommend anyone taking a look at it. Let me get to the more recent version of it. All right. Here we go. that, of course, shows all the scientific and medical data you could possibly want transgender issues. And this goes into a lot of other things. I'm not really sure what, a lot of it is, but I do know that her research on transgender stuff tends to be pretty well validated and well synced out through. So yeah, no, I mean, if people want to look through this, I will go ahead and link it in chat. Don't care about collections. Yeah, feel free to look through this. Tons of scientific evidence in there. Yeah, this is pretty much decided. Like, this is like, pretty much done and agreed upon by all modern science, all modern, medicine, sociology, psychology, everything like that. Everything's been kind of succinct on it. And even anthropology has discovered in the past this whole anti-trans stuff is the more recent phenomenon where trans and gender nonconforming has been the historical precedent.
The answer is no. I do not go along with your mandatory take on the world. And I don't think Americans should either. That's not an excuse for being...
Guess what, Ben? Fucking lock that step in, motherfucker. We're breaking down society.
Nasty to people. It's not an excuse for discrimination. It is a recommendation that we all speak real truths when they are available. And it happens to be a real truth.
And the truth is that transgender people are valid and that you're going against science. That's just the truth here. That's just the facts that Ben won't tell you because of his feelings on the matter. Like that, I don't make the rules. I just interpret the data. I am the person that they give the data to, and I look at the data and I say, here's what's going on. But yeah, no, Ben Shapiro fucking lost his mind on this subject, so I'm not surprised. Like this video, I am of course recording these on YouTube, recording these for YouTube. If you're in my Twitch chat and you want to see my YouTube videos, !YouTube, get there really easily. Would love it if you dropped a like, subscribe, commented. That'd be kind of cool too. I don't know. Follow me on Twitch. I am going to start trying to stream every Saturdays more often. I was in a really good habit of it and then kind of stopped during the election time. Get back into it now though. I like to stream video games during the week, so follow me on Twitch. Feel free to subscribe. We really appreciate that. But yeah, I hope all of you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to all of you next time.